Why did Jesus send 10 lepers to the priests? This is the question that we seek to answer today as we continue our verse-by-verse study of the book of Luke on Walking Through the Bible. If you have a Bible with you, turn to Luke chapter 17. We're going to be reading from verses 11 to 19. If you don't have a Bible, don't worry. Just follow along with us on the screen. The version that we'll be reading from is the New King James Version. So, Luke chapter 17, reading at verse 11. Now it happened, as he went to Jerusalem, that he passed through the midst of Samaria and Galilee. Then as he entered a certain village, there met him 10 men who were lepers, who stood afar off. And they lifted up their voices and said, Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. So when he saw them, he said to them, Go show yourselves to the priests. And so it was that as they went, they were cleansed. And one of them, when he saw that he was healed, returned, and with a loud voice glorified God, and fell down on his face at his feet, giving him thanks. And he was a Samaritan. So Jesus answered and said, Were there not 10 cleansed? But where are the 9? Were there not any found who returned to give glory to God except this foreigner? And he said to him, Arise, go your way, your faith has made you well. If you recall back to chapter 9, Jesus is traveling towards Jerusalem with the ultimate purpose of being crucified. He had spent a large portion of his ministry up in Galilee, but would spend the final months of his ministry in the Perean region on the east side of the Jordan River near Judea. That doesn't mean that he was exclusively there, for this story takes place in Samaria, which is in the middle between Galilee and Judea. Along his journey, as he entered a village, Jesus encountered 10 lepers who stood afar off. Remember, lepers in Jesus' day were commanded under the law of Moses to stay away from people, for they were unclean under the law. However, even though they were afar off, they could still recognize Jesus and cried out for mercy. Jesus didn't approach them, however. He simply told them to go to the priests. Why would Jesus tell them to do this? Well, recall that Leviticus 14 verses 1 to 20 says, Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, This shall be the law of the leper for the day of his cleansing. He shall be brought to the priests. And the priest shall go out of the camp, and the priest shall examine him. And indeed, if the leprosy is healed in the leper, then the priest shall command to take for him who is to be cleansed 2 living and clean birds, cedar wood, scarlet, and hyssop. And the priest shall command that one of the birds be killed in an earthen vessel over running water. As for the living bird, he shall take it, the cedar wood and the scarlet and the hyssop, and dip them and the living bird in the blood of the bird that was killed over the running water. And he shall sprinkle it 7 times on him who is to be cleansed from the leprosy, and shall pronounce him clean, and shall let the living bird loose in the open field. He who is to be cleansed shall wash his clothes, shave off all his hair, and wash himself in water, that he may be clean. After that he shall come into the camp and shall stay outside his tent 7 days. But on the 7th day he shall shave all the hair off his head and his beard and his eyebrows. All his hair he shall shave off. He shall wash his clothes and wash his body in water, and he shall be clean. And on the 8th day he shall take 2 male lambs without blemish, 1 ewe lamb of the first year without blemish, 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering, and 1 log of oil. Then the priest who makes him clean shall present the man who is to be clean, and those things before the Lord at the door of the tabernacle of meeting. And the priest shall take 1 male lamb and offer it as a trespass offering, and the log of oil, and wave them as a wave offering before the Lord. Then he shall kill the lamb in the place where he kills the sin offering and the burnt offering, in a holy place. For as the sin offering is the priest, so is the trespass offering. It is most holy. The priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and the priest shall put it on the tip of the right ear of him who is to be cleansed, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. And the priest shall take some of the log of oil, and pour it into the palm of his own left hand. And the priest shall dip his right finger in the oil that is in his left hand, and shall sprinkle some of the oil with his finger 7 times before the Lord. And the rest of the oil in his hand the priest shall put some on the tip of the right ear of him who is to be cleansed, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot, on the blood of the trespass offering. The rest of the oil that is in the priest's hand shall be put on the head of him who is to be cleansed. So the priest shall make atonement for him before the Lord. Then the priest shall offer the sin offering and make atonement for him who is to be cleansed from his uncleanness. Afterward he shall kill the burnt offering, and the priest shall offer the burnt offering and the grain offering on the altar. So the priest shall make atonement for him, and he shall be clean. Under the law of Moses, a proclamation from the priest and sacrifices needed to be offered before a leper could be declared clean. Since the temple was in Jerusalem and sacrifices were offered there, Jesus must have been sending these men to Jerusalem to be declared clean. There was just one problem. They were still lepers. Jesus had not healed them yet. But because of the faith of these men, they departed anyway, and along the way they were all healed of their leprosy. It's amazing to us that Jesus could heal them from afar, but remember, Jesus is God. Physical distance is nothing when exercising his power. Naturally, all of them were glad to be healed, but only one, a Samaritan, one who would be least expected to come back to Jesus, came back to thank him. Jesus asked where the other 9 were. Obviously, they were happy, but not as thankful to Jesus. Jesus told the Samaritan to go his way, for his faith had made him well. It is thus thought that Jesus forgave this man's sins as well, a supposition that seems to have some merit, because the other men were healed physically, but only this man would have been healed spiritually. With that, our time is up for today. The Lord willing, we hope you'll join us for tomorrow's discussion of Luke chapter 17 as we continue our walk through the Bible, one verse at a time. Thank you for watching today's episode. We hope that you found it edifying and ask that you not only subscribe to our channel and podcast, but that you like and share this episode among your friends so that the saving gospel of Jesus Christ can go out to the whole world. Of his cross.